my major in college was a combination of political science and philosophy. And I didn't want to go to med school, ultimately, so I never took any of those courses. I dropped out of ROTC in the last year because I didn't want to go to the military and become a pilot or anything, and as many of my friends who were in school with me ultimately had to do. I enrolled in the National Guard in order to avoid I had all kinds of scams, all kinds of scams to avoid the military at all costs. At all costs, at all costs. And so I was living in the dormitory. We had by now I had graduated from living on my uncle's couch and not being able to sleep for 2 days. I'd earned enough dough to get into a dormitory, as we called it. It really wasn't. It was a house that had been rented generally by the school, 2255 Mariposa, right off the freeway here in San Francisco. And they had about 15 rooms, and they would rent rooms to male college students at San Francisco State, 2 to a room. My first roommate was named A.B. Butler. He was from Texas, and upstairs, above me, was an older black guy named Ben Travis. Ben Travis was a returnee from the military, from the Air Force, and Ben Travis was really brilliant, just a brilliant guy. He was originally from New York, off the streets of New York. I mean, like, he was really backwards in every way when you think in terms of the streets of New York. He was the personification of that, but he wanted to be a lawyer. And he was going over to Hastings to check out, become a lawyer. And he asked me to go over with him, just hang out with him. I went over to hang out with BT for him to go through the interview process. In those days, you didn't take an entrance exam, you didn't take the LSAT, you didn't do all the things you have to do now to compete. I knew I was graduating. Benny was likewise coming out of school, and neither of us had made any decision about what we do next, except Benny knew he wanted to be a lawyer. And he was several years older. I was still, like 20 or something. BT may have been 26 or 27. At the school, when he's being interviewed for possible admission, I could answer the questions much better than Benny. And I started thinking, as I'm sitting there watching Benny, wait a minute, I bet you I can get a deferment if I enroll in law school. So I asked at the same session, is there any way I can answer those questions too? If so, fact so. I was admitted to law school. Just like that. Just, that's how I got there. I didn't, nobody directed me.
In the deferment.
My motivation was to do something that was in my skill set. I already knew that my ability to debate, my ability to be persuasive in dialogue, because I had joined the NAACP early on. I had become like a youth director of the NAACP. I had joined the fraternity. I had become the national vice president on the youth side of the Alpha fraternity. I had just like nailed them at every level that you do leadership. Same at class, elected office. All of that stuff was all natural at San Francisco State. All of that was natural to me. And all of my buddies were in the same category. John Burton, who ultimately became a congressman, a member of the State Assembly, the president of the State Senate. They were all my guys. As a matter of fact, the drill team in the Air Force ROTC was by alphabet in terms of where you stood. So it was Brown and Burton. And we were elbows. That's how we met. That's how we met. And we became fast friends. We enrolled in the Young Democrats together. So on the outside of college, I was a participant in the political process. I worked in the campaigns of people running for public office. So all of that was natural. So when I went down with Benny Travis and heard how you get into law school, it clearly said to me, I want this deal because I can keep on doing what I was doing in college, and I can do it easily. That's how I enrolled in Hastings College of Law.